One of the most common questions that I get from people is how do they know that they're actually meditating right? They may sit down every day for 30 to 40 minutes, but they still have that nagging feeling that they're missing something. So here is my top checklist, so you can work through this every time you sit down to meditate and know that you're doing it right. So firstly, I'd like to point out that if you are sitting down to meditate, then you're meditating. This is the first and most major step that you can take. So this checklist is intended to help you to get the most out of your meditation. There are many different types of meditations which have many different intentions and have different characteristics. So the checklist that I'm talking about today is specifically for Vipassana meditation. There's a saying that what can't be seen can't be healed. So Vipassana is about bringing attention to what is happening inside our minds and our bodies to help us to step out of automatic pilot and get the most out of our life as we live it. So back to the checklist. Number 1. So I think this is probably one of the most important items to consider. When people think of meditation, they often think of sitting down in a lotus position or semi-lotus position on a cushion. But it really doesn't have to be like that. You can practice meditation sitting in a chair, lying down, walking, or practicing yoga. So explore the different types of meditations that are out there. Some people prefer to have a lot of guidance in their meditation, and other people prefer to be left with their own breath. Some people like to stay still and other people like to move. And this may also change on a day-to-day basis. It might change as you move through and become more advanced in your meditation practice. Number 2, meditation is not about a blank mind. The mind will wander, and that's normal. That's just what minds do. The point of meditation is to continually bring the attention back time and time again. This is being mindful. Noticing when your mind has wandered, noticing where it's gone, that is being mindful. You notice that your mind went somewhere else, so you just bring your attention back and focus back on your anchor. I'll get to anchors in a minute. Number 3, bring attention to where the mind has gone. We're not trying to play whack-a-mole with those thoughts and be like, thought, quick, get back to the breath. No. Just notice it. Take a moment, see if it's planning or maybe something in the past, or maybe you're worrying about something in the future. Just notice it and gently label it. Then we notice what is called a feeling tone. So we notice if it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And then again, you just bring your attention back to the breath. As you become more accustomed to doing this, you can also explore to see if there's any emotion present with the thought. And again, notice if it has a feeling tone. If there's an emotion present, is it a pleasant one or unpleasant or neutral? So there's no rush. Meditation is about being with what's happening here as it's unfolding. We're not trying to get anywhere. We're just seeing what's happening and what's coming up as it unfolds. Number 4, the anchor. So the breath is the most common anchor. So this means that when you sit down to meditate, you just quickly scan the body and see where you can feel the breath more. Some people have more awareness of their breath as it enters the nostrils, the sense of temperature, the coolness of the air going in and the warmth of the air coming back out. Other people are more aware of the breath in the chest. Other people feel it in their abdomen, rising and falling. So just do that quick body scan and just see where it is for you. Also, you may choose another type of anchor. Maybe the breath doesn't work for you. Your anchor in this case might be the weight of your body pressing down on your cushion or on your chair. It could even be your hands resting on your thighs or one hand resting on top of the other. Or you might choose to focus on an external anchor. So that's to say an anchor outside of the body. So this might be, for example, sounds in the environment. For some people, using the breath as an anchor really might not work, and in some cases it could actually be a source of anxiety. If this is the case for you, then don't worry, it's really quite common, and choosing another anchor is the most mindful action that you can take. So I do have another video that talks a little bit more in depth about choosing anchors, and I'll post the link for that below. Number 5, expectations. This might be news to you, but you might not feel relaxed after your meditation. If your expectation every time you sit down to meditate is to feel relaxed or to find a state of Zen, then you might actually end up feeling worse or maybe feeling frustrated. So often we do actually just feel calmer after meditation, and this occurs as a natural result of just allowing ourselves to slow down and be with what arises. It also helps doing this in a way without judging ourselves, without trying to change, and without resisting. In mindfulness meditation, we're not trying to get rid of or control what might be present for us. What we're looking for is seeing how we relate to what comes up in our meditations so that we can apply that insight and that knowledge to our daily lives. For example, if we experience pain or frustration or impatience whilst we're meditating, the idea is not to get rid of that, but explore how it feels. For example, you might sit down to meditate and feel a growing sense of impatience. So the idea is to explore, how does impatience feel in the body? See if you can locate it. How does it manifest physically for you? Is it a tightening in the chest or tension in the shoulders? Or are there any thoughts that feed this impatience? Maybe you're thinking about demands or pressures, such as everything that you have to do for the rest of the day. Often we try and push these thoughts and feelings away. We try to control the experience and try to just be calm and still. And all of this trying consumes a lot of mental, physical, and emotional energy. It's not necessarily the impatience or the frustration or the pain that is causing us so much discomfort, but actually it's the physical tension that we add to it and the mental tension that we add to it. So in recognizing what is happening, we are immediately not lost in it, and we can then choose not to feed the unpleasantness. So when we're able to let the physical and the mental tensions subside, the original discomfort also has less power and effect over us. And by not resisting or trying to change it, we can actually generate some space around the unpleasantness and find a sense of balance even among the experiences that we don't like or we don't want. Number 6. So finally, I want to talk about non-judgment, because this is absolutely fundamental in our practice. When we sit down to meditate, we may be surprised at first at the kind of thoughts that pass through our minds and just how much judging actually occurs automatically. We often find that there's a pattern in our thinking, how we judge events, things, and even people as good or bad, based on how they make us feel and if we feel good or not. So it's important not to get caught up in judging the judging, but be aware that these thoughts are just thoughts. They come and they go. Judgments become somewhat mechanical and can lead to unconscious and irrational reactions. And these reactions trap us on a negative or positive roller coaster, which further impacts thoughts and emotions. So being aware of these automatic judgments helps us to see things from a clearer and more informed perspective. This takes practice, and you may need to remind yourself over and over, but the most important thing is that each time you do notice, thank yourself for noticing, because in that moment of noticing, that is practicing mindfulness. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed this video and that the advice given will help you to deepen your practice. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section below if you've tried any of these tips and how they're going for you. And also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch.